Hello students, welcome to this first lecture on the subject fluid machines. Now this subject is studied by mechanical as well as civil engineering students, mostly at third year level. This subject is also known as sometimes it is referred as turbo machines or turbo machinery. Different universities names are given like this. And before we study this subject, the prerequisites are uh, you should know the concepts in fluid mechanics and some concepts of thermodynamics. So let us begin with the concept of fluid machines. So fluid machine is defined like this. It is a device that converts either mechanical energy into fluid energy or from fluid energy into mechanical energy. So conversion of mechanical energy into fluid energy. Here we can understand mechanical energy. So it is basically the rotation of shaft. So we can rotate the shaft by connecting that to a generator. So electrical energy can be, transferred to mechanical energy. It is a simple arrangement. So mechanical energy into fluid energy. Here fluid energy we generally refer as we are increasing the pressure of fluid. So either liquid or gas. Okay, or from fluid energy into mechanical energy. So if we have a fluid which is having very high pressure, that means it has got a good amount of fluid energy, and that can be utilized. That energy which is stored in the fluid in the form of pressure energy can be utilized, and that can be converted into mechanical energy. So this common term is fluid machines. For examples, you can understand now: turbines, pumps, compressors, fans, or blowers. All these are turbo machines or fluid machines. Okay. Now let us see. So I have shown these various diagrams here. The first one is a Kaplan turbine. You can also see Pelton turbine, wind turbine. So all these are turbines. Now in this particular type of devices, you can see that the utilization of energy which is stored in the fluid is made, and we are actually converting the fluid energy into mechanical energy. So turbines are the devices which gives us, you can say, electrical energy, but that comes from the mechanical energy. Okay, so it is not difficult to understand how a turbine works, okay, or what is the concept of turbine. Here you can see the fluid energy by some arrangement is converted into mechanical energy. So mechanical energy means we will be able to rotate this shaft. So this shaft can be connected to a generator, and thus we can generate the electrical energy. In this case also, in this type of turbine, the same concept is there. That means the fluid energy, we are utilizing it by some means, and that fluid energy is made to hit this rotor, and the rotor will rotate. So thus we get the mechanical energy. In this case also, you have seen these wind turbines. Okay, so the energy which is stored in the air is utilized. So as these blades or as this rotor rotates, that can be coupled with some arrangement mechanism, and we can generate the electrical energy. So basically we are converting the fluid energy which is available in the form of pressure energy or even kinetic energy is converted into mechanical energy, and it's a class of machines which we refer as the turbines. Fine. So next, another two diagrams you can see, where one is the centrifugal pump, the other one is the reciprocating pump. So these are the pumps I have shown. Now in this case, what is happening is we are actually converting the mechanical energy into fluid energy. So you know what is the use of a basic pump? It is pumping operation. So we increase the pressure of a fluid. So if we are increasing the pressure of liquid, the device is actually pump. If we are increasing the pressure of air or gas, generally we have a device called as compressors. So we have seen air compressors. Okay, so these are the class of devices which convert mechanical energy into some form of fluid energy. Okay, so let us see the classification of fluid machines. Now the fluid machines are classified. This is actually a broad classification based on the energy transfer, based on the working fluid, and also based on the working principle. Though this is written the last, but this is most important thing. Okay. Now based on the energy transfer, we have actually two categories, two classification. One set is turbines, all types of turbines. You just mention any turbine, so they fall under this category. The other set we have pumps, compressors, fans, and blowers. Okay. Now, what happens in case of turbines? Already we have seen based on the energy transfer. Means in case of all types of turbines, uh, mechanical energy is produced. Mechanical energy is produced. So we have seen it here. All these are turbines. There are many turbines. I have shown few turbines here. So in case of turbines, mechanical energy is produced by utilizing the energy stored in the fluid. Fine. So that is one direction of energy transfer. The other direction of energy transfer which happens is by utilizing the mechanical energy, we get fluid energy, like pressure of liquid or air is increased. So those are the class of machines which sometimes we have pumps, we have compressors, we have fans and blowers. So these are one class of machines which utilize mechanical energy uh, and convert that to a fluid energy. So this is on the based on, you can say, the direction of energy transfer. Now based on the working fluid, so we have class of fluid machines. So fluid machines, they handle, sometimes they handle liquid, sometimes they handle gas or air. So therefore the machines which handle liquids, for example, hydraulic turbines, we know they handle water, they handle water as the working fluid. Okay, so high pressure energy of the water can be utilized to run a machine, and that's a hydraulic turbine. It converts in that high pressure water energy into mechanical energy. Then pumps. So when we call pumps, they handle liquids. They may handle water, they may handle some oil, they may also handle some slurry kind of thing, but they are the class of machines which handle liquids. Okay. Gases, the machines which handle gases, they are, you can say, steam turbine, gas turbines. Now these are the machines which handle gas. So we will study about these things later also. But just to tell you, for example, steam turbines used in the steam power plant, they utilize the high pressure or high energy content which is available in the form of steam. In the steam, it utilizes that high energy content and converts that into mechanical energy. Even in case of gas turbine, in case of jet engines, we have gas turbines. Okay, or even in gas power plant also, high energy content which is available in the gas is converted into mechanical energy. Okay. So compressors. Now compressors are machines which utilize mechanical energy and increases the pressure of gas. Okay. So they are called as compressors. So whenever we come across compressor, the working fluid is either gas or some other air maybe. Okay. Fans, blowers, all these handle gases. Now based on the working principle, we have two types. One is the rotodynamic machines, or you can say these machines work on the dynamic action. The other one is the positive displacement machines. So these type of machines work on the principle of static action. So let us understand these two concepts, rotodynamic machines as well as positive displacement machines. So I will go to the same slide you can see here. So there are two types of machines, both are pumps. So in first case, we have this centrifugal pump. Now this works on the principle of rotodynamic action or dynamic action. So here the energy transfer takes place because of dynamic action. Okay. So fluid, for example, fluid will enter at this point and it will leave the rotor as it is rotating here. It will leave the rotor, and the energy transfer takes place because of the rate of change of angular momentum. So fluid which is entering at this point will have some angular momentum. Okay, fluid which is leaving the rotor at some point will have some other angular momentum. So because of this change in angular momentum, the energy transfer is taking place. It is because of the dynamic action. Okay, it is because of the dynamic action of the water which is rotating along with this rotor. Okay, but in case of this type of machines, you can see here, here the energy transfer takes place by compression. So when we are compressing, we are actually reducing the volume. When we are compressing, we are actually reducing the volume. Thereby, we are increasing the pressure. We are increasing the pressure of the fluid. Okay. So this is the static action. That means in this type of machine, a fixed quantity of mass is compressed. A fixed quantity of mass is compressed, and thereby its pressure is increased. Okay. So when the energy transfer is taking place, you can see the difference. In this case, when the energy transfer is taking place, the mass is not fixed. The mass is not fixed. So there is a continuous flow of mass. But in this case, when the energy transfer is taking place, there is a fixed quantity of mass to which energy is transferred. Therefore, these type of machines are referred as positive displacement machines or work on the principle of static action. These are known as rotodynamic machines, where there is a continuous motion of fluid and rotor, and energy transfer takes place because of dynamic action. So energy transfer may take from rotor to the fluid or from fluid to the rotor, but through dynamic action or because of rate of change of angular momentum. Fine. So this is the broad classification of fluid machines. So next we will see the governing equation for energy transfer in case of rotodynamic machines. So we will try to derive energy equation for rotodynamic machines. So there are different types of rotodynamic machines. So in general, we have to consider a rotor. So there will be a rotor in any rotodynamic machine. There will be a rotor, and fluid will be entering at some point and it will be leaving some other point. Now this can be for a turbine, it can be for a pump, or it can be for a compressor. So we are trying to arrive at some generalized equation. Okay. So let us consider a rotor. Now this is the axis of rotation. Assume that fluid will enter at point 1 and it will leave the rotor at point 2. So right now, if you are not able to understand the different, you can say the terminologies, you will understand as we progress with our, you can say velocity triangles. We will discuss all these velocity components, the significance of velocity components later also, even if you not understand now. Okay. But still, I will tell you that at point 1, fluid is entering at point 1 where the radius is R1. At point 2, fluid is leaving where the radius is R2. Okay. So, very generalized condition we have taken. So, fluid is entering with a velocity V1. So, V1 is the absolute velocity. V1 is the absolute velocity. Okay. So, we can resolve, or we can have various components of V1 along 3 directions. See, along the axial direction, along the direction of this axis of rotation, we have VA1, which is axial velocity. Then we can also resolve this V1 along the radial direction. So if it is resolved along the radial direction, it is known as flow velocity or radial velocity, radial component. So it is denoted as VF1. Another direction, the third direction, is along the tangent of the rotor. You can see VW1, this is along the tangent at point 1. So it is denoted as VW1, tangential component. It is called as tangential component, or it is also known as whirl component. Whirl component. We will discuss about the significance of these velocity components later also. Okay. In subsequent videos, we will discuss. At point 2, similar, you can say V2 is the absolute velocity, the velocity with which the fluid is leaving, absolute component. Then this is again resolved into 3 components. One is the radial, another one is axial, the other one is the tangential at point 2. Okay. Now, so as you know, the energy transfer takes place because of change in angular momentum. It is because of the change in angular momentum. So we will try to get that rate of change of angular momentum, and then we can find out the energy by knowing this torque. So at inlet, moment of momentum per unit mass, this is nothing but the angular momentum. Moment of momentum is nothing but the angular momentum. So some concepts of mechanics is here. Okay, if you are not getting this part, you should understand that concepts in mechanics, and you will come to know about this. Okay, so VW1 into R1, this is the angular momentum at point 1. At outlet, the angular momentum is VW2 into R2. Okay, so it is the tangential component into radius, and this is tangential component into radius at inlet and exit respectively. Now the rate of change of angular momentum is the difference between these two, and it is actually known as torque. So torque is nothing but the rate of change of angular momentum. So once we have this torque, we can find out the energy transferred E equal to torque into angular velocity. Now this is the angular velocity of rotor. It is the angular velocity of rotor. So E is m dot for mass flow rate, m dot into VW2 R2 minus VW1 R1 into omega. Now if I multiply this omega for both these terms, you can see omega into R2, omega into R1. I can replace that by U2 and U1. So you must have studied in mechanics V equal to R omega formula. So just recollect that, and we can replace R2 omega as U2, R1 omega as U1. So the final equation is E equal to m dot into this part. If I divide this by mass, we will get this, and if I divide this by G, that means I am actually writing energy per unit weight. You can see mass into acceleration due to gravity. This is energy per unit weight equal to, this is actually known as head. In fluid mechanics, we refer this as head. Again, this you must have studied that head is nothing but energy per unit weight equal to 1 over G, because G has come here, 1 divided by G into this. Now this equation is famously known as Euler's energy equation for any type of rotodynamic machine or a fluid machine which is working on rotodynamic principle. Now see, we have this equation. It is you can see here one thing, because there should not be any confusion. VW2 U2 minus VW1 U1, we can write in the other way also, only negative sign. There is no issue. We can write in this way also. Okay, so you will understand now. When VW1 U1, if I have this equation, okay, now this equation is actually for power developing machines. Okay, so turbines are power developing machines. They produce power. Turbines, all types of turbines are power developing machines. They produce power by utilizing the fluid energy. Okay, so when VW1 U1 is greater than VW2 U2, that means this is more than this. That means energy is transferred from fluid to rotor. That means we are utilizing this energy. So as the fluid exits, it has got less energy. At the exit, there is less energy. That means we are actually utilizing this fluid energy. Okay. For example, turbines, all types of turbines. Energy is transferred from fluid to rotor. When VW2, that means reverse of this, is greater than VW1 U1, that means at the inlet, energy is less. At the exit, energy is more. That means what? We are supplying energy to the fluid. So this is another class of turbine. This is another class of fluid machines which are known as power absorbing machines. Pumps, compressors, fans, blowers, all these come under this category. Okay, energy is transferred from rotor to fluid. Okay? For example, pumps, compressors, because this is more. At the exit, fluid is coming with higher energy or higher VW2 component than VW1. Okay, so this is what I wanted to explain in this particular lecture. Thank you.